We did our alcohol action plan consultation last August, September. We interviewed about 600 people. We tried to get a really diverse mix of people. We had the standard formats like surveys at the town hall, public places like libraries and so forth. But we also did other things where we got in amongst the people, because we realised that with all of our policies we want to try and get to the people who are most affected by them. So we interviewed liquor licensees, we interviewed patrons of bars and nightclubs. We did street stalls so that we could get in amongst the people, because often we found that if you have a public consultation, people will come who are very noisy and angry with loud voices, but aren't necessarily representative of the whole community. So the more we got out into the community, the better. So we also interviewed about 84 people who live in supported accommodation, like rooming houses, boarding houses, or are homeless, to get their views on things such as street drinking. So it was a fairly well mixed group of people that we spoke to. We've got a very diverse range of opinions in the community. There was lots of diversity around street drinking bans, whether they should be 24-hour bans or no bans at all. So we had a really strong cross-section of views on that. But most people were in favour of having nighttime bans. So the bans in Port Phillip are between 8 PM and 9 AM, which mainly target the nightclub users who have drinks in between clubs and who sit drinking in their cars before they go into the clubs. Also, there was the venue density issue, which was split. We had 46% in favour of improving the regulations or increasing the regulations, and about 41% who were against. So again, that was almost half and half, and the others didn't know or didn't offer an opinion. So that's why the research that will be done through this project will be really useful, because it will give us an objective. We've now got the subjective information that we wanted, and some objective information on how things are changing will be really useful, because often we found that the licensing changes so quickly and so surreptitiously through the community that we can't keep track of it. So something like this will be really useful to get a handle on how things are shaping before they become a problem. The community are really interested in the number of new licensing applications that are coming through, so that sort of information will be really good, so we can again track the trends over the course of time, and also changes to the licensing conditions. So if we have an increased number in 24-hour venues, for example, that will be of major interest to the community, particularly those who live in and around those areas, because they're the ones most hotly affected by them. And also the number of local laws, regulations would be good, and a bit of detail about what the impact of those local laws would be really useful. And I think these data sets also have applications beyond council and community interaction. It also helps the police. At the moment we've mapped the licensing hours of most of the hotspot areas, and the police have got those maps up on their walls, so they use those maps to help them manage some of the major hotspots of assaults and alcohol related crime.